What up? Brent here. Sunday morning. I'm driving through the remainder of a winter storm in the mountains of North Carolina. And I've been thinking about some things. One thing in particular, because I hear it all the time, people saying, especially politicians, people generally that lean left, it's like this deity that they think is just holier than thou. It's the greatest thing ever. And that is democracy. We have to protect our democracy. Democracy is the greatest thing ever. Yada, yada, yada. I do not agree with that. I think democracy is a dangerous thing in its purest form, right? Democracy is nothing but the tyranny of the masses, or as Doug Casey once said, it is mob rule dressed up in a sports coat. So what do you get when you get democracy? Why is it so great? Okay, in a pure democracy, let's say you have 100 people voting. If 51 of those 100 vote for something, then they can impose whatever it is they vote for on the other 49, right? So why is this a good thing? Why do we just have majority rule, right? So many people that laud democracy, have they really thought out the logical conclusion of what that could be, right? If democracy is this infallible, wonderful process where 51% can dictate to the other 49%, what kind of results could we get? And what kind of things would justify that a lot of the people that laud democracy, I can guarantee you, would not agree with? Let's say we had 100 people in a fictional nation that was run by pure democracy. And let's say 51% of them, or 51 out of the 100, were white males, the ultimate vilified individual to many on the left and many champions of democracy, right? 51 white males, the ultimate Satan in today's fucked up world. And let's say there was 49 African Americans, as a pure example, right? So in a democracy, if the 51% of white males decided we're going to reinstitute slavery. Well, if you support democracy and you think it's this amazing process, let the people rule, well then 51 white males could legally enslave 49 African Americans, right? I mean, that's exactly how the process works. I can guarantee you the champions of democracy wouldn't agree with that one, right? You'd see just how anti-democratic they were in that case. So the problem is, a lot of the champions of democracy love democracy as long as the people vote for what they want. But God forbid the people vote for something they don't want, you'll see them become the most anti-democratic people you've ever seen, as you would see in the example I just pointed out. So what do you want? Do you want a group, masses dictating to other people what they're going to impose on them? Or do you want, as an alternative, to preserve the ultimate minority, which is the individual? The individual's right to life, liberty, happiness, as they say in one of our founding documents, but it really meant originally property was what the intent was. Now, if you believe in individual liberty, then you cannot support pure democracy. Because in a democracy, the masses, or the majority of voters, can absolutely infringe upon the rights of the minority. And the smallest minority, as Ayn Rand once pointed out, on Earth is the individual, right? So if you are for democracy and the way it works logically, then you're not for individual rights. You do not support the smallest minority on Earth, which is the individual. You support a certain percentage of people being able to elect politicians dictating or giving those politicians right to use force against individuals, right? Now, if you support that, you don't like minorities. I hate to point that out to you, but that's the way it works. So take your democracy, your religion of democracy, and shove it up your ass.